I seek the kind permission of the chair to commence the proceedings of the inaugural session. Thank you, Lordship. The spirit of nationalism is the common thread that runs through all of us, and the national anthem is the hymn of patriotism. In that spirit, I request all to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you. Honorable Mr. Justice Abhay Srinivas Oka, Judge Supreme Court of India. Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Chief Justice High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Honorable Mr. Justice Ali Mohammad Magre, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and Chairperson, Governing Committee for J&K Judicial Academy. Honorable Mr. Justice Amreshwar Pratap Sahi, Director, National Judicial Academy. Honorable Judges of High Courts of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab and Haryana, Delhi, Allahabad and Uttarakhand, esteemed resource persons, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and my greetings to everyone participating in the North Zone 1 Regional Conference on Contemporary Judicial Developments and Strengthening Justice Through Law and Technology, being organized by National Judicial Academy and hosted by High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and Judicial Academy at Sher-e-Kashmir International Convention Center, located against the scenic backdrop of Dal Lake, overlooking the Zebarwan mountain in the neighborhood of the historical Mughal gardens. Ladies and gentlemen, a ray of light is a ray of hope. Let us all leave darkness and step forward towards the enlightened path. I request the dignitaries on the dais to commence the program by lighting the ceremonial lamp. Thank you. I now request Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Registrar General, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, to present flowers to Honorable Mr. Justice Abhay Srinivas Oka, Judge Supreme Court of India. I request Mr. M.K. Sharma, Member Secretary, J&K Legal Services Authority, to present flowers to Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Chief Justice, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you. I request Mr. Rajiv Gupta, Principal Secretary to Honorable the Chief Justice, to present flowers to Honorable Mr. Justice Ali Mohammad Magre, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you. I request Mr. Gohar Majid Dalal, Registrar Judicial, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, to present flowers to Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you. I now request Ms. Swati Gupta, OST, J&K Judicial Academy, to present flowers to Honorable Mr. Justice Amareshwar Pratap Sahi, Director, National Judicial Academy. Thank you. May I now humbly request Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mithal, Chief Justice High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, to present the welcome address. Lordship.
Respected Justice Abhay Srinivas Oka, Judge Supreme Court of India, Justice A.P. Sahi, Judicial Academy, Brother Justice Magre, and Justice Sindhu Sharma, members of the organizing committee, and other judges of the host High Court and participant judges from other high courts, Mr. D.C. Rana, Learned Advocate General, Mr. Achal Sethi, Secretary, Department of Law and Justice, participating delegates from the 6 high courts of the northern region, officers of the High Court Registry, officers of the government, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is really a proud moment for the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh to host North Zone 1 Regional Conference on Contemporary Judicial Developments and Strengthening Justice Through Law and Technology, organized by the National Judicial Academy Bhopal under the able guidance of Brother Justice A.P. Sahi. I feel it to be a personal privilege to be part of this renewed initiative of the NJA, which comes after a long time, having remained stalled by COVID-19 pandemic for about 2.5 years. Last time we had an academic gathering in the North Zone Conference at Srinagar in the year 2017. Of course, we had hosted another North Zone Conference in the year 2018 also, but that was in Jammu. We are looking forward to successfully organizing this conference again at Srinagar. It is a matter of great satisfaction that NJ has reposed confidence in us and provided this opportunity. On behalf of myself and my High Court, I would like to place on record my gratitude to the National Judicial Academy Bhopal and its Academic Council for giving this chance. I can bet that there could be no better place than this to restart the academic discourses. I say so for obvious reasons. One, that Kashmir has historically been a destination of learning and spiritualism. Second, that the climate here is no parallel to Kashmir. And thirdly, that Kashmir is clamoring for new beginning to be made after a long turmoil. Not very long ago, Mahatma Gandhi had found a very ray of hope in Kashmir to show the path to the rest of India. Times is now to rekindle the hope. This land is an abode of innumerable saints and Sufis, and many of them are believed to be positioned in the state of deep meditation for centuries. Mother Nature has always been very kind to this part of the world. Though the people here have suffered tough times and have gone through unaccountable miseries, we shall all pray and make sincere efforts to ameliorate the sufferings and reclaim the heaven on earth. Let us all be witness to a positive and a pleasant change. Justice Oak is with us today to guide us in the conference and to lead the academic discussions in various sessions. His Lordship has come all the way from Delhi despite his busy schedule and multifarious commitments. We all know that His Lordship has great flair for academic discussions directed towards judicial excellence and betterment of judicial institution. In many of such conferences, we have all been benefited by useful interventions of Justice Oka. I heartily welcome your Lordship to this beautiful part of the country. Your presence has added grace to the occasion. We are very keen to seek benefits from you, from your vast experience equally at bar and the bench. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Justice Sai, Director, National Judicial Academy. I have been lucky to have worked with Justice Sai and to have a long association with him. I am great admirer of Justice Sai's knowledge of law, literature, and philosophy, and above all, his skills of meticulous planning. He was instrumental in organizing many events at Allahabad High Court successfully, and I also had an opportunity to learn from him. Sir, you will all surely inspire us all in these 2 days of academic feast. This opportunity of hosting this conference, I take it as a personal gift from you. I feel it is my good fortune to welcome the resource persons of this conference, Justice R.C. Chauhan, Justice R. Basant, Justice P.N. Prakash, Justice Raja Vijay Raghavan, Mr. N. Venkatraman, Additional Solicitor General of India, Mr. Shekhar Nafade, and Professor Vinod Kumar Dikshit, who are all acclaimed in their unmatched ability, competence, and skills. These resource persons are endowed with rich experience of guiding many such academic discourses and providing useful inputs for enhancement of judicial excellence. Your presence with us for 2 days shall be helpful for all of us to sharpen our skills and to learn use of technological tools effectively for taking the judicial institution to new heights. I extend a warm welcome to all my brother and sister judges from 6th North Indian High Courts who are participating in the conference as delegates. It gives me pleasure to serve you as a host. Your presence in the conference shall be inspiring for other participants from district judiciary. I am sure you all will share your experiences during these sessions and guide the younger colleagues in the judiciary. When the Constitution of India was adopted, major nations in the world were wonderstruck by the ideas and the ideals of the framers of the Constitution, who wanted India to be carried forward with it. The ideals were lofty and were felt to be a distant reality for the nascent republic. We lived through the testing times and marched forward from strength to strength. With the passage of time, we dwindled in our resolve and faltered in working on the basis of the core constitutional principles. The governance of the country strayed away from the path shown by Mahatma Gandhi. To quote, I will give you a talisman whenever you are in doubt or when the self becomes too much with you. Apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest men whom you may have seen and ask yourself if a step you are contemplating to take may be of any use to him. Will he gain anything by it? Will it restore him to a control over his own life and destiny? In other words, will it lead to Swaraj for the hungry and spirituality starving millions? Then you will find your doubts and your self melt away. The Constitution, unquote. The Constitution has not failed us so far. Rather, it has held us together, constantly reminding us of our unique characteristics, unity, and diversity. The constitutional courts have contributed enormously to strengthening the constitutional resolve of creating an egalitarian democracy and developing scientific tempers. Realistic interpretations by the constitutional courts have allowed the Constitution to retain its dynamic character. After all, the Constitution is what the judges say. We are standing at the cusp of history. As far as the institution of judiciary is concerned, many real challenges are staring at us and time is running out fast. We should find a way forward without losing much time. Our glorious past should not detain us from thinking out of the box solutions, obviously within the constitutional and lawful means. We need to take stock of the things and events of the past in judicial history and to make course corrections for the situations that have not gone well. We shall have to take tough measures and to see that the judicial institution lives up to the trust and confidence reposed in it by the citizens of this great nation. The Supreme Court and the National Judicial Academy are shouldering an onerous responsibility, and I am very much confident they will lead a way forward. Contemporary developments taking place in the judicial institutions are of far-reaching consequences and would decide the future course of history. When it comes to technological advancement, the judiciary cannot keep itself aloof. We need to reap the dividends of the development in information and communication technology and apply the technological advances in earnest. ICT is making the flow of information unbelievably fast and lives smooth by applying the knowledge effectively in all walks of life. To rise to the practically achievable heights, it is requisite that we make progress by leaps and bounds. It would be possible to do so only if we all join our heads together and put our best foot forward and devote our time and energy. The task is Herculean, but not beyond our capabilities and abilities. Once we have decided to tread the path of judicial excellence, the problems of Himalayan magnitude shall not be too difficult to overcome. In other words, Swami Vivekananda says, "Awake, arise, and stop not until the goal is achieved." I welcome all our delegates to the conference, be it judicial officers or the officers handling technical aspects of the e-courts. Please avail the best benefits of the discussions which will be held in various technical sessions of the conference. I also wish you all the best for your judicial career ahead. I hope and trust that takeaway from this conference will enrich you in knowledge and experience and help you in achieving personal excellence. But do not forget to enjoy the heavenly beauty of this place. Do visit the historical places and scenic spots around and take home some cherishable memories. Our officers shall provide all support and service. Make your stay pleasant and comfortable. We have installed help desks at the places where you are staying and at this venue of the conference. Do not hesitate to ask our officers for any help. The presence of the Advocate General Mr. Rena in this inaugural session is laudable. I welcome you, Mr. Rena, and hope you will give your useful inputs to make this conference a success. I welcome Mr. Achal, Secretary, Department of Law and Justice, who I think is one among us and is directly concerned with the organization of this conference. He, being an important stakeholder in the judicial system, is always interested in better outcomes of such conferences. He has helped us with all financial and logistic support. I express my sincere gratitude to the Union Territory Administration for facilitating the High Court for extending full cooperation to enable us to organize this event of national importance. We assure the government that efforts put in by them shall not go waste. I expect that the Union Territory Administration shall keep on supporting us in all our endeavors of creating a vibrant judicial institution in this Union Territory. I would urge all the stakeholders in governance to contribute their bit to make Kashmir again an educational and spiritual hub and revive the lost, overshadowed glory of Shri Sharda Sarvagam Peeth located in Neelam Ghati, from where all the knowledge and the wisdom flows, enlightening one and all. I hope and trust all the organs of the democracy would have no stone unturned to achieve this cherished goal. Many conferences, conventions, seminars, and talks of the national and international importance would surely be organized here. I take this opportunity to request Justice Oka and Justice Sai to include Kashmir in the priorities of the Supreme Court and the National Judicial Academy, and keep on providing us reasons to contribute to the upliftment of educational and spiritual standards of the country. While concluding, I again welcome each and every person present in this session and those who would participate in future sessions of the conference as delegates. Thanks and God bless you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Lordship. We continue to draw inspiration and guidance from Lordship's profound words of wisdom. I now humbly request Honorable Mr. Justice Amreshwar Pratap Sahi, Director, National Judicial Academy, to deliver the introductory speech. Lordship.
Thank you very much, Kashmir. Thank you very much, Honorable Justice Oka, for having graced this occasion. And of course, Chief Justice Mittal, जिससे भी मिलो खाके पाँव हो के मिलो, फिर देखो तुम्हें उस बुलंदी से कौन उठा सकता है. This is the extent of humility of Chief Justice Mittal. Thank you very much, all government officials, for having made this grand and secure and almost steel cage arrangement of security. Thank you very much. I think all the delegates here are very comfortable. My job is only to introduce to you that, look here, we are going to discuss and throw a dialogue open as to about what have we given ourselves in these 75 years. And what we have given is contained in the preamble of the Constitution. We, the people, have given ourselves to this Constitution. And liberty, of course, Article 21 is going to be discussed today in some of the sessions. We are going to discuss technology, and we are going to discuss everything that touches this land, this paradise, which is known as Gar Firdaus Varoi Zaminast, Haminasto, Haminasto, Haminast. I think Kashmir's, if anybody ailing comes here, he will definitely go healthy. And this is true for the judiciary as well. So I have a very short time to introduce these things. We are all waiting to hear Justice Oak. Thank you very much, and thank you for all the hospitality, Chief Justice Mittal, once again.
Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, Lordship. The insightful words of Lordship shall steer us in all our endeavors and motivate us. Ladies and gentlemen, the judiciary as an institution has always lived up to the faith reposed in it and has consistently justified its competence in upholding the Constitution of India in letter and spirit. Alongside the discharge of duties, constant endeavors are undertaken to enhance efficiency through self-evaluation and introspection, as well as to apprise all stakeholders of the efforts made and the initiatives undertaken during a particular period. On behalf of the High Court of J&K and Ladakh, it is my honor and privilege to place the accomplishments and endeavors of High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and all institutions under its umbrella in the form of newsletter for the period January 2021 to August 2022. I request honorable dignitaries on the dais to please release the newsletter.
This is a new endeavor we have started here. Practice one.
Swati madam. Both of us.
We have tried to come to one with all these statistics. Because our district courts are not connected with the nation.
That will have to be now because of the connectivity issue.
I now request Mr. Mohammad Yusuf Wani, District and Session Judge Baramulla, to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice A.S. Oak, Judge Supreme Court of India.
Thank you.
I now request Mr. Sanjay Parihar, District and Session Judge Jammu, to present memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Chief Justice High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you. I request Mr. Muhammad Ashraf Malik, District and Session Judge Badgam, to present memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Ali Muhammad Magre, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh.
I think Justice R.C. Chauhan not come. Okay. Raja Vijayanagar is there.
I request Mr. Nasir Ahmad Dar, District and Session Judge Anantnag, to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Miss Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you. I now request Mr. Jatinder Singh Jamwal, Special Judge Anti-Corruption CBI Cases, to present memento to Honorable Mr. Justice A.B. Sahi, Director, National Judicial Academy. Thank you. May I have the honor of inviting Honorable Mr. Justice Abhay Srinivas Oak, Judge Supreme Court of India, to kindly deliver the inaugural address. Lordship.
Good morning. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Chief Justice Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh High Court. Justice A.P. Sahi, Director, National Judicial Academy. Justice Magre and Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judges of the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court. Sister and brother judges of various high courts, judicial officers, and the resource persons who are present here. We have galaxy of resource persons here. We have Justice Sanjeev Sajdeva, Justice R.C. Chauhan, who has not reached so far, Justice Rajiv Shakdar, Justice Raja Vijayaraghavan. All of them have done comprehensive work in the field of e-court project and the use of technology. We have very distinguished members of the bar, Mr. N. Venkataraman, ASG, Mr. Shekhar Nafde, Senior Advocate, Justice P. N. Prakash, Justice R. Basant, Senior Advocate, and Professor V.K. Dikshit. I will not be wrong if I say that we have a galaxy of resource persons here. I am glad that National Judicial Academy has initiated discussion on these important topics in these picturesque surroundings in Srinagar. Some of the issues which we are going to deliberate upon are very important. Judiciary and media, right to freedom of speech and expression, bail jurisprudence, reverse burden. We are going to discuss the decisions of the Supreme Court in the cases of Vijay Chaudhary and Arjun Khotkar. Tomorrow there is going to be a session on use of technology, and we'll know many things about our e-court project. As I said, resource persons are very eminent. They are experts in their respective fields. Without encroaching upon their domain, I am going to express my personal views about some of the topics which we are going to discuss today. Judiciary and media is a topic of immense importance in the present day context. All of us know that there is a lot of criticism of the judges, their judgments, and in general judicial system in the printed, electronic, and social media. Personally, I believe that just like any other institution in this world, judiciary is not infallible. There are flaws in the judiciary. There are certain areas where judiciary is going wrong, and I have acknowledged that on public platform on various occasions. Therefore, I have always said that every citizen of this country has right to criticize judiciary and in particular the decisions rendered by the courts. But that criticism has to be in constructive manner. I don't think criticism of judges and judiciary is something which is a new phenomenon. I have been a member of the bar right from the year 1983. It is not as if judiciary was not criticized in those days. However, in those days, the criticism was made within four walls, in a closed room, in muffled voices. Lot of criticism was offered in the corridors of the court. In fact, I always say, whenever I am asked a question, what I have missed during the last 19 years of my judgeship, I always say that I have not missed anything except one thing, the gossip in the corridors of the court. That is something which I missed during the last 19 years. So the criticism was there, maybe in muffled voices. With the advent of social media, what was being said for years together is being said by putting it on social media. It's very easy to put the things on social media. So the criticism which we used to hear in corridors and within four walls of a room, we are reading it on social media, electronic media, and other forms of media. There is one more reason why there is criticism. With the advent of use of technology, the CIS, the National Judicial Data Grid, now the decisions of the courts are available on public domain, and therefore large number of citizens have easy access to the decisions of the court. That is one more reason why we find more and more criticism of the decisions of the court. When we are going to discuss judiciary and media, I think there are four broad points on which we should have discussion. The first is the criticism of the decisions or judgments of the court. I again say that every citizen of this country has right to offer constructive criticism of the decisions. But there cannot be a criticism by simply saying that I don't like a particular judgment, or that a particular judgment must have been written in a particular manner, or it must have contained a particular conclusion, or that judgment is motivated. I believe that constructive criticism of a judgment can be made only after critically analyzing the judgment and testing the same on settled legal principles. A critic of the judgment should say where the court has committed a legal error, where the court has legally gone wrong. When a constitutional validity challenge is decided by a judgment of constitutional court, the critic should be able to say on what grounds a particular statute or particular statutory provision ought to have been struck down or ought to have been read down. The issues decided by constitutional courts are very complex. I remember a few years back, Supreme Court delivered a judgment on NJAC. The judgment ran into about 1,000 pages. There were, I believe, 5 different opinions of 5 different judges forming part of the Constitution bench. There is an institution in Mumbai which gives training to those who appear for civil services examination. Right from my bar days, I have been a visiting faculty member there. So I was requested by the director to speak on this judgment, I sought time of about couple of months to study the judgment and speak on the judgment. On the very day on which judgment was pronounced in this NJSC case, late in the night, I just tuned on to one of the television news channels, and I found that so-called legal experts were having vehement debate on the merits and demerits of the judgment. It was humanly impossible, even for a person with brightest legal mind, to analyze that judgment running into 5,000 pages and containing 5 different opinions within span of few hours. And today we have this scenario that morning you get judgment of the Constitutional Court, and by afternoon the media keeps on discussing merits and demerits of the judgment without even examining or testing the judgment on settled legal principles. There are very few people who offer constructive criticism of the judgments. I always believe that if somebody is there to offer constructive criticism, the members of the judiciary will be immensely benefited. Of course, there are exceptional cases where we see a very critical analysis of judgment of Constitutional Court. I remember in the year 2016, I had occasion to deal with constitutional validity of certain provisions of Maharashtra enactment which banned the slaughter of cow and its progenies. Certain sections were struck down in the judgment, certain sections were read down. About 6 or 7 weeks after the judgment was pronounced, A.G. Nurani, senior advocate, wrote a detailed article, I believe in Frontline. He examined each and every finding recorded in my judgment. He also said where we were right. He has also said where we are wrong. And while saying that we should have struck down certain other provisions of the law, he gave reasons why we should have done it. Now, this is kind of constructive criticism which we as judges should most welcome. The second issue on the topic judiciary and media mainly arises due to reporting of oral remarks made by the judges and especially judges of the constitutional courts. When we hear a matter, when we hear a case, we always express our views, our prima facie views, with the sole object of bringing best out of the members of the bar. Perhaps people in media, the common man, does not understand the purport of the oral remarks which we make while we hear a matter. Of course, there are valid issues where with some justification, the media persons are saying that while making oral remarks, the judges are crossing what is known as Lakshman Rekha. We need to have a debate on this issue. The judges will have to put their heads together and will have to seriously consider this issue. I firmly believe that we as judges must express our prima facie view when we hear the matter, because that is always a prima facie view. Only if we express our prima facie view, the members of the bar are benefited. Unless we express prima facie view, there cannot be quality assistance rendered to us. But when we express our prima facie view, when we express our oral remarks, we make our oral remarks, we have to ensure that we don't cross Lakshman Rekha. The third aspect or the third topic under this heading will be disclosing something which is allegedly confidential. Now we have those reports in media about what transpires in collegium meeting. We also see reports at state level that certain principal district judge is likely to be transferred because he had delivered a particular judgment. This is human nature. When we keep on saying that something is confidential, it generates more and more curiosity to understand what is that confidential. Perhaps we, the members of the judiciary, will have to certainly apply our mind and ensure that we function in more and more transparent way. While I say about the criticism offered by the media, I feel that it is my, of course, personal opinion that we as judges should not be oversensitive to our own criticism in the media. Of course, when there is a constructive criticism, when there is intelligent criticism of our judgments, or maybe the procedure which we adopt, it calls for introspection on our part. All judges, barring few honorable exceptions, have faced very unjust and unwarranted remarks or criticism from the media. Perhaps the media persons do not understand that we as judges cannot respond to the criticism. Some of them take undue advantage of our self-restraint. But still I believe that we as judges should not be touchy about all this criticism, which may be unwarranted, which may be uncalled for. There is one good reason for that. The public memory is very short. What is said on the social media, what is said on the electronic media, individually about the judges, is forgotten very soon and very fast. Therefore, I personally believe that we should learn to ignore such unwarranted criticism. The fourth aspect of judiciary and media is something very serious. When I say that we should welcome constructive criticism, when I say that we should completely ignore the unwarranted criticism by media of the judiciary and the judges, this fourth area is something different, something very serious. When there is a clear attempt on the part of the media to scandalize institution of judiciary as a whole, in such cases, I believe that some action will be warranted. I can always share few examples. I was Chief Justice of Karnataka for about 2 years and 4 months. In December 19, in a very, very leading English newspaper which is having wide circulation in Karnataka, which is having its Kannada version, there was a headline that under the instructions of the Chief Justice, Vigilance Department of the High Court raided house of a judge of the City Civil Court and cash of rupees 9 crores was recovered. A completely false news item. Vigilance Department of High Court is not a police department. The things did not stop there. A popular Kannada channel, television channel, showed clips of few people counting currency notes. There is something more said in that article. That article said that the Chief Justice has passed orders of compulsory retirement about 30 judicial officers, and he has summoned 40 more and told them in no uncertain terms that they will have to put in their papers. If such thing happens, it is an attempt to scandalize the entire judiciary. There are complaints made to me by the spouses of the judges of the City Civil Court in Bangalore, because they started receiving calls from their relatives. So that was one case where I had to initiate action for criminal contempt. But we should do so only when there is an attempt to scandalize judiciary as a whole, and not in all cases. Connected with this issue of media is issue of live streaming of the courts. I am going to express my personal views about the live streaming. There can be other point of view. I believe that now time has come for we judges to discuss this issue. I personally believe that except cases involving personal issues, cases involving issues of individuals, or cases involving privacy of individuals, there should be live streaming of hearing of the constitutional courts. I am not saying this about our trial and district courts, because we'll have to discuss it threadbare, whether recording, when the court is recording evidence, the hearing should be live streamed. That's a totally different topic. I am on constitutional courts, and I firmly believe that when constitutional court deals with important legal issues, important constitutional issues, maybe important public interest litigation, there should be live streaming of the proceedings. That enables citizens to understand how the courts function. There is every possibility that some of them may misunderstand the functioning of the court, but I am sure that many of them understand how the decision-making process is adopted by the court, and what is the decision-making process. There's one more reason why there should be live streaming. After COVID-19 set in, all the constitutional courts started functioning through medium of video conference. As Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, I took a decision that VC hearing should be like normal open court hearing. Therefore, from August 2020, we started publishing meeting ID and password of the benches of the High Court on the website every day morning at 9 o'clock. And I had instructed our staff that everyone should be permitted to join the the VC hearing, because I wanted to ensure that VC hearing should be open court hearing. I heard a case in Karnataka which was transferred by the Supreme Court. The issue was about closure of certain schemes by mutual fund. Petitions were filed in various high courts. There was not a single case in Karnataka, but it was transferred to Karnataka High Court in August 2020. I took a decision that video link of the hearing should be provided to all media houses, anybody who wanted it. We heard the matter. It was unique hearing in the sense that there was a counsel sitting in London, somebody sitting in Mumbai, somebody sitting in Chennai, others sitting in Delhi, somebody sitting at Ahmedabad. All of them argued very complex case before us. After the hearing was concluded and judgment was reserved, I received an email from one of my chartered accountant friends. He was associated with some online magazine which was dealing with the issue of share market. So he secured access. And he expressed to me that with the kind of arguments which are made, how difficult it will be for you to decide the case now. And he told me in that email that he was eagerly awaiting the judgment. So if we have live streaming of the cases, members of the public will know, citizens will know how complex arguments are canvassed before the constitutional courts. How difficult is the process of decision making. One more thing, one more reason why we should not hesitate to live stream the cases. I have seen as a judge of the Bombay High Court, litigants, some members of the bar use their cell phone, use those pen cameras to record everything which happens in the court. They may not be putting it on the social media, but I know for certain that the proceedings were recorded and there was a private circulation. Therefore, I feel that, what is the big deal if we allow live streaming of the cases involving pure legal and constitutional issues? I think we need to have debate on this aspect. There is one more important issue which we are going to discuss in this conference, that is regarding the language of the courts. As a member of the bar practicing in High Court, I was part of a movement started by some members of the bar. Our demand was that the proceedings of all courts up to the level of district courts should be conducted in the language of the state, namely Marathi, and most of the judgments should be written by the judges in the language of the court, which was to be Marathi. The reason is that our trial courts and district courts are the courts where there is common man's litigation. I am using the phrase trial and district courts. I always believe, and in fact I had passed an administrative order as the Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, that no court should be hereafter referred to as subordinate court or lower court. And we should refer to these courts as trial and district courts. So the object was that the litigants who litigate in our trial and district courts should understand the court proceedings, should understand the submissions made, and what was more important was, if the judgments are written in local language, they will understand why the case is decided in their favor or why it is decided against them. In those days, one difficulty was always expressed, that the matters will be carried to the Constitutional Court, High Court and Supreme Court, and there will be judges who may not understand the local language. I think with the advent of technology, translation is becoming easier and easier with the passage of time. So the issue of translation need not detain us, and it is high time that at least in the courts at district level, we should ensure that the proceedings are conducted in the local language. Of course, there are many states which have taken initiative, and now proceedings are being conducted in the local language. I am very glad that Justice Sahi has put very important topic in today's discussion, that is bail jurisprudence. There is a lot of criticism of the judiciary in this behalf. We face criticism when we grant bail. We face criticism when we don't grant bail. But I firmly believe that we have a constitution. Liberty of individual is given utmost importance under our constitution. And therefore, when we decide bail applications, we must always keep it in our mind that importance is given in our constitution to the liberty of an individual. That is something which is guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. I believe that we need to do a lot of work in the area of bail jurisprudence. The proposition, bail is the rule and jail is exception, in my view, continues to subsist. Of course, there are exceptions to that. There are special laws enacted where there are stringent conditions imposed for grant of bail. There is one area where we need a lot of discussion. It's all right for the judges of the constitutional courts to face criticism when they grant bail or they do not grant bail. The real worry is about our sessions court. At local level, there are very sensitive cases. And when case is made out for grant of bail, if the session judges grant bail in deserving cases, they become subject of criticism. There are very disturbing reports from certain states that if the sessions court grants bail, mob is collected outside the courts and slogans are shouted against the judges. This is an area where we need to introspect. There is always a criticism by the district judiciary by pointing out some instances where allegedly a judicial officer is transferred because he granted a bail in a particular matter. So this is an area, the bail jurisprudence will have to work a lot. Of course, media doesn't understand the difference between grant of bail and acquittal. If bail is granted, it is projected as if accused is let off permanently. Therefore, I always believe, I have started that exercise as the chairperson of the Legal Services Authority. We are lagging far behind in the area of educating our masses on basic principles of law. We do not have a concept of legal literacy. This kind of criticism when bail is granted happens because we are not our society, our even elite members of our society are not legally literate. And therefore, our legal services authorities have already started the work in this area. I always believe that we, the judicial officers, we, the members of the judiciary, are answerable to common man, are answerable to citizens of our country, because we basically exist for them. Public exchequer spends large amount on judiciary for providing infrastructure, for paying payment of salaries. Therefore, it is all the more important that we, the judges, must realize that we are answerable to common man of this country. Once we adopt that approach, we will be able to find very easy solutions to various problems which we face as judges. Time of 25 minutes was given to me. I don't want to come in the way of resource persons. I wish a great success to this conference. Yesterday I spoke to Justice Sahi. I was supposed to remain present only in inaugural session. Therefore, I requested for grant of permission to participate in the first session, not as a resource person, but as a participant. And I'm glad that Justice Sahi accepted my request. I thank the Chief Justice of High Court for providing excellent facilities to this conference. And he rightly said that we are making a new beginning in Srinagar, in Kashmir. And I hope and trust that we go to various areas, various regions of the country, and we discuss such important topics which are there today and tomorrow. I wish a great success to this conference, and I thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity to have interaction with all of you. Thank you very much.
Lordship, your pearls of wisdom will inspire us in the ensuing deliberations of the conference. I now humbly request Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and Chairperson Governing Committee, to propose the vote of thanks.
You think you have to say it very bluntly.
Honorable Mr. Justice Abhay Srinivasoka, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, Chief Justice of High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Honorable Mr. Justice Ali Mohammad Magre, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Honorable Mr. Justice E.P. Sahi, Director National Judicial Academy, my brother and sister judges of the High Court of Allahabad, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir and Uttarakhand. Esteemed resource person, Mr. Achal Sethi, Secretary, Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, Mr. Dilbag Singh, Director General Police, Mr. Additional Chief Secretary, Mr. R.K. Goel, Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Registrar General, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Shahzad Azim, Director J&K Judicial Academy, Mr. Rajiv Gupta, Principal Secretary to the Chief Justice, Mr. M.K. Sharma, judicial officers, learned participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As we come to the conclusion of the inaugural session of the North Zone 1 Regional Conference on Contemporary Judicial Developments and Strengthening Justice Through Law and Technology, I may quote the words of Benjamin Franklin: "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." So we are here on this conference to learn, to involve, and to do that so that we may contribute our best to the dispensation of the justice. We may bear in mind that nobody is able to achieve and manage anything without the support of all and organize anything successfully. So we express our deep gratitude and appreciation resonating from our heart to all the, on behalf of the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and J&K Judicial Academy. It is my privilege to express our profound gratitude to all the honorable dignitaries, esteemed resource person, learned participants who have made it convenient to attend this conference. Judiciary, ladies and gentlemen, is committed to the sacrosanct obligation of maintaining the rule of law and has scrupulously discharged its function in decisive and vigorous manner to achieve the objective of dispensation of justice. And the legal discipline has never shied away from technological innovations. This conference is a progressive step in the direction of ensuring justice through a combination of law and technology. We are deeply grateful to the Honorable Mr. Justice A.S. Oka, Judge Supreme Court, for presiding over this inaugural session and for your enlightening address. It is indeed our fortune to have distinguished presence of lordships amongst us in spite of his heavy responsibilities and have his vision expressed which should be guiding us through the conference and in future. We are also will be enlightened and will have the occasion to have him as a participant in the conference. We take this opportunity to express our respectful and humble gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Mittal, the Chief Justice of High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, for firstly taking the initiative of hosting this conference and also for giving us the vision and insightful guidance in all spheres and for always ensuring that things are done in a right manner. We are also extremely thankful to Mr. Justice Ali Muhammad Magre, Chairman Steering Committee, for his consistent guidance in executing all works related to the conference. His energy and untiring attitude in conceptualizing and execution of the conference has certainly infused us with vigor and enthusiasm in the entire process. We are also thankful to Mr. Justice Sanjeev Kumar, Member Steering Committee, for his encouragement and support and planning the arrangements of the conference. I am also thankful to Justice Javed Iqbal Wani and Justice Wasim Sadiq Nargal for their untiring efforts in organizing this conference. We owe a deep sense of gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice A.P. Sahi for his decision to organize this important conference in this beautiful valley, which is a reminder that poetry does not need pages and words and can be felt through emotions or the beauty of this place. As has rightly been said by him, if there is a paradise on earth, it is here, it is here. My special and sincere word of thanks to Justice Sahi for support in shaping and organizing this conference and for consistently leading from the front. We are also thankful to his entire team of National Judicial Academy, particularly Mr. Vijay Chandra, Registrar, NJA, Ms. Parikar Nasir, Mr. Shashwat Gupta, for their consistent cooperation and coordination. My deepest gratitude to the esteemed resource person who have taken their valuable time and would be sharing their wisdom with the participants. We are going to hear the resource person on the topics of extreme relevance and importance, and sincerely hope that the discourses that originate here shall transform the way we perceive the things. I express my profound gratitude to all the sister and brother judges and participating judicial officers of all the high courts who have evinced keen interest in participating in the conference and have honored us with their presence. Your active participation in the discussion that follows shall make this conference a fruitful affair. We place on record our deep appreciation and gratitude for the Additional Chief Secretary, UT of J&K, Shri R.K. Goel, who's here, Shri Dilbag Singh, Director General Police, the Divisional Commissioner, Shri P.K. Pole. Our gratitude is also due to Mr. Achal Sethi, Secretary Government, Department of Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, for his coordination and untiring efforts to ensure that facilities extended by the Government of J&K are placed at our disposal. I am also thankful to the Shri D.C. Raina, Advocate General, for participating in this inaugural address, and also the Deputy Solicitor General, Mr. Shamsi, for being here. We also thank the Director, SKICC, and his team for providing the logistics and other facilities at the venue. An event of this dimension requires untiring effort and planning by all. The holding of this conference has been made possible by the industrious and dedicated efforts of Mr. Sanjeev Gupta, Registrar General, and his team at Registry, Mr. Shahzad Azim, Director, J&K Judicial Academy, and his team. At the Judicial Academy, Mr. Rajiv Gupta, Principal Secretary to Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. M.K. Sharma, Member Secretary, JKLSA, and officers and officials of the E-Court projects. Our word of thanks to the media, both print and electronic, for interest in the conference and giving wide coverage to it. At the end, we express our gratitude to all concerned and hopefully we will put into practice what we learned from this conference. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here.
I seek the kind permission of the chair to close the proceedings of the inaugural session. Thank you, Lordship. I request the participants and dignitaries to please assemble in the backlawns for the group photograph and thereafter proceed for a tea. I humbly request that we will be reassembling here for the first technical sessions within 15 minutes. Thank you.
I think 4 judges are newly appointed.
अभी पूछते हैं